15, 5, 20. Suppose I want to compute the ensemble average of xt1 into xt2. So how will you compute this average value? You also have all the numerical values of xt1, you also have the numerical values of xt2. Now before taking the average, you have to multiply them. So 20 multiplied by 15 plus 3 multiplied by 5 plus 10 multiplied by 20 divided by total number of observations. What will be this? This will be 20 into 15 plus 3 into 5 plus, what is the last term? 10 into 20 divided by total number of observations. This average is called correlation. Correlation between xt1 or xt2. Remember, this will also be a number, this correlation between two random variables xt1 and xt2. You can also denote them by x1, x2 if you wish. This will be a number. Whenever this E appears or ensemble appears, I am cutting this E because I am using it as an operator. If you don't cut it, it can be misinterpreted as energy or any other variable. So I am using this operator symbol. Textbooks sometimes make it dark or bold case letters. But in here for the differentiation, I am using this symbol for denoting it as an operator, averaging operator, ensemble averaging operator. Is that clear? How to compute the correlation between two random variables? And what is the relation between random process and random variable? Random variable is obtained by sampling the process at a given instant. So theoretically, infinite random variables can be obtained by sampling a given process. Fine? You have understood what is the meaning of correlation? Hello? हेलो
यस सर
कोरिलेशन समझ गए
यस सर
हमने उसी प्रोसेस को दो इंस्टेंट पे सैंपल किया है वी विल ऑब्टेन सम नंबर्स वी आर मल्टीप्लाइंग कॉरेस्पॉन्डिंग नंबर्स 20 multiplied by 15 3 multiplied by 5 and last digits are 10 and 20 agreed now you compute this quantity which is called covariance between xt1 and xt2. This is by definition expected value of xt1 minus its mean multiplied by xt2 minus its mean. This is the definition of covariance. So what you are doing here, if you want to compute the covariance between two random variables, you have to, let us say the mean of xt1, that is mu1, mean of 23 and 10, it is let us say 10 or 8. So I will subtract 8 from every number. 20 minus 8, 3 minus 8, 10 minus 8. Then let us say mean of xt2 is 7. So I will subtract 7 from every number. Now you will, once you have subtracted the mean value.
Excuse me, sir.
Hello?
सर
हाँ,
कुछ स्टूडेंट्स ज्वाइन नहीं कर पा रहे हैं, कॉल आ रहे हैं।
ये प्रॉब्लम इसी में आती है, सब में आती है?
इसी में आती है सर।
Why? ये जो भी स्टूडेंट्स एडमिट नहीं हो पाते हैं, यू सेंड मी द मेल, तो मैं उनको उधर ऐड कर दूंगा, प्रॉब्ली उनके नाम वहां पे नहीं होंगे। ओके, जिन जिन को एडमिट होने में दिक्कत आती है, लॉगिन में दिक्कत आती है, मुझे मेल कर दो, ठीक है? अभी तो
ओके
एडमिट कर
सर।
दिया है मैंने, बट अदरवाइज पूरा लेक्चर डिस्टर्ब होता है। अभी ठीक है? हेलो,
Yes, sir.
now you have understood how to compute the covariance. For computing the covariance, you have to first subtract the mean from individual random variable. Subtract mean of xt1 from every number, subtract mean of second random variable with second observation, and then compute the product. So what will be this? 20 minus 8, that is 12. 15 minus 7, what will be the value? 8. 20 minus 8, it is 12. This is 15 minus 7, this is 8. 3 minus 8, this is minus 5. 5 minus 7, minus 2. 10 minus 8, 2. 20 minus 7, 13. So what will be the covariance? 12 into 8 plus minus 5 into minus 2 plus what is the last number? कौन बताएगा मुझे लास्ट नंबर? 2 into
13.
2 into
13।
13, क्योंकि तुमने 7 घटाया ना इनमें से, क्या नंबर बचेगी? 20 माइनस 7 इज इक्वल टू 30। इन सबका एवरेज ले लो, देन दैट नंबर विल बी कोरिलेशन. So what is, you can say that covariance is nothing but correlation of mean subtracted random variables. Mean subtract, because you have subtracted mean and now you are computing the correlation. Mean subtracted random variables. Now if in general random variables can be complex, therefore you can, if the random variables are complex, you have to take the conjugate of one of them. Okay, complex means any random variable z which is written like this, x plus jy. X and y are real random variables, x and y both are real, then this z will be a complex random variable. So complex variable is, random variable is nothing but is made up of two real random variables. So in general all these sample values can be complex. Let us say 8 plus 3j, 2 minus 2 minus 4j. So every sample value will be complex in case of complex random variable. But for the time being, for the explanation, it is sufficient to consider real random variables. So you are clear with what is correlation and what is covariance. Now, suppose you have one process, say temperature, and let us say sale of the cold drink. This is another process. Okay. Now you have sampled, you have obtained a random variable by sampling the process at time t1. You have obtained another random variable by sampling yt at process t2. Now you are computing this quantity, expected value of x t1 into y t2. This will be called cross correlation. Cross correlation between xt1 and yt2. Cross because you are sampling two different processes. Autocorrelation means you are sampling the same process at two different time instants. So what will be the definition of cross correlation? Expected value of xt1 into yt2. Okay, let us say -7 to 5. Say -4, -3, -10. Now what will be the cross correlation? Anyone? -4 into -7 plus -3 into 2 plus -10 into 5 divided by total number of observations. That will be the cross correlation between these two random variables. Agreed?
Yes, sir.
किसी को प्रॉब्लम हो तो बोलो, because these are simple things but they should be clear. Cross, whenever we are sampling two different processes, time can be same or different. You can sample x at t1, you can also sample at y at t1. Can be in general different time. Say t1 is 10 a.m., t2 is 3 p.m. Possible. Similarly, you can compute cross covariance. What will be cross covariance? Expected value of cross covariance. What will be it? Now you can tell me. Covariance. Subtract mean and subtract mean of this. Agreed? So in
Yes, sir.
covariance, we are subtracting individual means before computing the correlation. Understood? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Now let us define three important types of random variables. One is orthogonal random variables. Another is uncorrelated random variables. And third is independent random variables. So before I introduce these terms, let me first have again a see theoretically, although I am only showing for simplicity only three waveforms, theoretically you will have infinite number of such waveforms with you in the ensemble. So in fact you can see how many times this -4 is occurring, how many times this -3 is occurring, and you can plot a probability curve, probability density function. So probability density function will be essentially measuring the probability of occurrence of each number. How many times this -4 occurs? How many times -3 occurs? How many times 10 occurs? That information is presented in the form of a curve called probability density function. So if I give you, so this is measured from these numbers only. Remember. And in fact, all these expected value of random variable can also be computed via PDF. X into PDF of x into dx. This is same as, I mean, in the limit of x1, x2, xn divided by n in the limit n tend to infinity. This entire quantity can be written like this. These are one and same thing. Expected value of x. Just for simplicity, you can write down expected value of x. You can omit this subscript. So whatever, if it is x here, you are writing x here. But this capital X is representing random variable and small x is representing numerical value of random variable. So this capital X is representing random variable, small x is representing numerical value. And these two are one and same thing. Statistical average and this integral. This summation can be converted into integration because integration is also summation. Agreed or not? This is very simple proof actually, it's not complex. Just I can write down like this, x1 plus x2 plus xn divided by n. Let us say x1 occurs n1 times. Let us say x2 occurs n2 times. Let us say nn occurs xn times or xn occurs nn times divided by n. Now what is this? N1 by n. This is probability. N2 by n, probability of x2. So this will be summation xi, probability of xi. Now in the limit, this will become this integration. So if PDF is also given to me, I can also compute ensemble averages. The most important PDF which you might have come across is the Gaussian distribution or normal distribution of random variable. Most commonly used PDF in communication applications. Gaussian distribution. Normal distribution, one and same thing. Gaussian and normal, one and same thing. What is the... So what I am saying is that in fact this result extends to expected value of any function of random variable will be simply f of x, probability of x, dx minus infinity. You can use it for any arbitrary function of random variable. Say for example, expected value of x square. What will be that? X square, probability of x, PDF of x. What will be x cube? So in general say nth power. This will also be nth power. Similarly, you can compute the central moments. Expected value of x minus x mean. Hello? What will be this? This will be anyone? X minus mean raised to the power n multiplied by probability of this, PDF of this. So whatever is the function here and you want to compute the average of this, you write down the same function multiplied by PDF and integrate. So these are called central moments because you are subtracting mean. So you can compute any nth order moment of any random variable. I am not putting subscript here for brevity, but you can continue to use subscripts also, xt1, xt2, etc. That will only confuse you. So avoid these subscripts. Even if you continue to use these subscripts, no problem. Because ultimately, every random variable is obtained by sampling a process at a fixed time. So you can omit these subscripts, T1, T2. And you can write down x1, x2, etc. Is that fine? Okay. So now you are familiar with the term PDF. Now you define these three important terms: orthogonal random variable, uncorrelated random variable, and independent random variable. So if expected value of two random variables, any say x1 into x2 is 0, we say that random variables x1 and x2 are orthogonal. They can be any random variables. Similarly, if expected value of x1 into x2 is equal to expected value of x1 into expected value of x2, then we say that random variables are uncorrelated. And last definition, independent random variable, if the joint PDF of two random variables x and y is equal to PDF of x multiplied by PDF of y, x comma y. So if what is happening here, the PDF of two joint random variables. Joint means, say for example, you have two different processes here. One is temperature of the city, this is x, and this is another process yt. On the left hand side, I am having xt, temperature. This is, let us say, sale of cold drink. I have two different processes with me. So, at every temperature and at every sale of the cold drink, let us say 100 cold drink. So this is representing temperature, this is sale of the cold drink. So every number will be having some probability. At 2 degrees Celsius, 100, what is the probability that 100 cold drink will be sold? Similarly, at t is equal to 3, 90, t 2, 99. Agreed or not? So this probability is called joint PDF. हर टेम्परेचर पे कुछ नंबर ऑफ सेल कोल्ड ड्रिंक के सेल होने की कुछ प्रोबेबिलिटी होगी. दैट इंफॉर्मेशन इज गिवन इन द जॉइंट पीडीएफ. You understood? What is px comma y? Small x and small y, they are representing some numbers. Capital X, capital Y, they are random variables. For example, x is the temperature, y is the sale of cold drink. So if this joint PDF gets splitted, it appears as a product of x alone multiplied by product of y alone. Then we say that random variables are independent. But whereas in case of uncorrelated random variables, only expectation is splitting. So which is stronger, uncorrelated or independent? It is independent random variable which is stronger condition on random variable. So if random variables are independent, they will always be uncorrelated. But uncorrelated random variable need not be independent. You understand it? Say, for example, you are computing expected value of x1 into x2. This is nothing but x1, x2 joint PDF of x1 comma x2 dx1 dx2. This is the definition. I want to find out the average of this, so I am taking it here, multiplying by the joint PDF, integrating. Now, if this PDF gets splitted, then this can be written as p of x1 along multiplied by p of x2 along into dx1 into dx2. So now this joint PDF gets splitted. That will happen only when the random variables are independent. Now this can be further written as integral x1 dx1 dx1 integral x2 dx2 dx2. This is nothing but average value of x1. This is nothing but average value of x2. So what if we assume that random variables are independent? Then this E of x1 x2 will always be product of E of x1 into E of x2. That means if random variables are independent, they will also always be uncorrelated. So this is a more stronger condition on random variables. So if random variables are independent, they will always, this is a restriction on average value only. Average of product is equal to average of individual random variables. This is what uncorrelated means. E of x1 x2 is equal to E of x1 into E of x2. So this is a restriction on average value only, not on PDF. Whereas independence is putting a restriction on PDF itself. You understand? Now let us say the mean of any random variable is 0 and random variables are uncorrelated. Then what will happen? Anyone? Mean of any one random variable is 0 and random variables are given to be uncorrelated.
They will be orthogonal.
They will also be orthogonal because if E of x1 or E of x2 or both are 0, then so this is a sort of inner product or dot product between two random variables. If dot product is 0, we say that random variables are orthogonal. Vector में कहते हो कि dot product 0 है तो orthogonal है. So this E of x1 into x2, this is also a sort of dot product or inner product between random variables. Hello? Hello? Yes? Any question? Hello? Any doubt?
Sir,
Yes?
sir, what is the last
Hello?
thing that you said? Mean of any one random variable is 0, and what was the second condition?
Suppose E of x1 is 0 here in this equation of uncorrelatedness. Either E of x1 is 0 or E of x2 is 0 or both are 0. Then E of x1 x2 will become 0. What I am saying is either this is 0 or this is 0 or both are 0. Then this left hand side will be 0. That means this is precisely the condition of orthogonalness.
Yes, sir.
किसी भी रैंडम वेरिएबल का मीन 0 या दोनों का और अनकोरिलेटेड गिवन है तो वो ऑर्थोगोनल भी होंगे क्योंकि E of x1 x2 क्या हो जाएगा. तो रिमेंबर दिस E of x1 into x2 is equal to E of x1 into E of x2 only when random variables are given to be uncorrelated. इन जनरल ऐसा नहीं लिख सकते हम हर रैंडम वेरिएबल के लिए. प्रोडक्ट का ई स्प्लिट नहीं होता ऐसे. ये केवल स्प्लिट कब हो रहा है जब रैंडम वेरिएबल अनकोरिलेटेड है. व्हाट आई एम सेइंग इज your E of x1 plus x2 plus any xn, this will always be equal to this because E is a linear operator. सम में प्रॉब्लम नहीं है. दो रैंडम वेरिएबल को ऐड करते हो तो उनका जो मीन आएगा वो इंडिविजुअल के मीन के सम के बराबर होगा because E is a linear operator. This will always happen. No condition on this. Whereas E of x1 into x2 This will not be in general equal to this E of x1 into E of x2. इन जनरल ये बराबर नहीं होते हैं. प्रोडक्ट में ऐसा नहीं लिख सकते हमेशा. ऐसा कब लिख सकते हो, इक्वल कब कर सकते हो, जब रैंडम वेरिएबल x1 और x2 क्या होंगे,
अनकोरिलेटेड होंगे.
अनकोरिलेटेड होंगे तो ऐसा कर सकते हो. लेकिन प्लस होता तो प्लस में तो कोई प्रॉब्लम ही नहीं है, बिकॉज दिस इज अ लीनियर ऑपरेटर. इफ यू ऐड टू रैंडम वेरिएबल्स एंड इफ यू नो द वैल्यू ऑफ देयर इंडिविजुअल मीन, द मीन ऑफ सम विल बी इक्वल टू सम ऑफ द मीन. So mean of sum is equal to sum of mean. Okay, so now you are but there is an exception in case of this relation which I am telling you. If random variables are given to be Gaussian, then this uncorrelatedness will always imply independence. Gaussian है, अनकोरिलेटेड भी इंडिपेंडेंट को इंप्लाई करेगा, यानी दोनों एक दूसरे को इक्वलेंट हो जाएंगे. अनकोरिलेटेड है तो इंडिपेंडेंट होंगे, इंडिपेंडेंट है तो अनकोरिलेटेड होंगे. ऐसा किसके केस में हो रहा है, गॉसियन डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन के केस में. वी विल गिव द प्रूफ ऑफ दिस जस्ट नाउ. अब ऑर्थोगोनल का मीनिंग क्या है? ऑर्थोगोनल का मीनिंग ये है, suppose you have two vectors with you A and B, and suppose they are perpendicular or orthogonal to each other. What will be the projection of A along B or B along A?
0.
They are orthogonal, it will be 0. So by observing A, I cannot infer something related to other vector B. But on the other hand, if let us say A is having something like this, now if I project A along B, it will turn out to be A cos theta. Agreed or not? So now the projection is non-zero. So, but if the random variables are orthogonal, by observing one random variable, you cannot infer any information about second random variable. Say for example, first was temperature, second is the sale of the poultry. I am observing temperature and I want to give some information of the sale. Because they are orthogonal, so I will not be able to project one along other. That is the meaning of this. So these random variable theory is very commonly used in the estimation theory also. By observing one random variable, you want to estimate some other random variable. So now you are familiar with correlation, covariance, independence, uncorrelatedness, orthogonal. Now let me define a simple Gaussian random variable, or sometimes called normal random variable. So what you must be familiar with this, I am sure. Somewhere in communication or somewhere else, you might have studied this. 1 upon root 2 pi sigma square exponential of x minus its mean whole square upon 2 sigma square. That is the equation of the normal PDF, having mean of mu. Mu is the mean. Okay. Mu is the mean, sigma square is the variance. This sigma square is called variance of the random variable. This is nothing but expected value of x minus its mean whole square. Second central moment is called variance. I am subtracting mu from every number, that's why it is central, and I am squaring it, so it is second central moment. So second central moment is called variance. Sigma is called standard deviation. The sigma is called standard deviation. And generally this is written like this: normal random variable or Gaussian random variable with mean and variance here. Say for example, I write down 2 and 16. Then first number is generally representing mean. So 2 is the mean, and what is the standard deviation?
4.
4. Standard deviation is 4. That is a compact way of writing down any Gaussian PDF. N is slightly, just to denote it as a normal random variable. It's not any ordinary number. So just I am making it sort of curly n. ठीक है ना, थोड़ा चला के घुमाया, ऐसा नहीं है कोई प्रॉब्लम. तो तुम जब कोई भी रिसर्च पेपर्स या कोई भी स्टैंडर्ड टेक्स्ट बुक्स पढ़ोगे, you will find these notations for representing. तो हम ये कहेंगे एक रैंडम वेरिएबल x इज हैविंग है, इसको ऐसे लिखते हैं. और भी मैथमेटिकल लैंग्वेज की बात करें तो हम ऐसे लिखते हैं: x इज ए नॉर्मल डिस्ट्रीब्यूटेड रैंडम वेरिएबल विद मीन बेस एंड वेरिएंस बेस. ये लिखने के बजाय हम ऐसा नोटेशन लिख सकते हैं. तो बाकी चीजें लिखने की जरूरत नहीं है. समझ गए? Mathematical way of writing down these statements. That x is a Gaussian PDF, Gaussian distributed random variable with mean 4 and variance 16. Sometimes some people will write down this second number as sigma. No problem, but you have to make it specific that this is my notation. We will be following this notation of mu and sigma square. Sometimes people use this notation of sigma only. Possible, nothing wrong. But you have to be specific. What is your notation? We will be following, unless otherwise specified, sigma square. Second number will be variance. Okay? Now can you tell me what is the probability that random variable x will be having a value of 5? What is the probability of this? Or x is equal to 7 or x is equal to 10? What is the probability? The random variable x is Gaussian distributed. Hello? कंटिन्यूअस रैंडम वेरिएबल में किसी एक प्रिसाइज नंबर के निकलने की क्या प्रोबेबिलिटी है?
Sir, we will substitute the value of x in.
No, it will always be 0. क्योंकि इसकी ये तो पीडीएफ है. रिमेंबर, दिस इज ए पीडीएफ. किसी भी प्रोबेबिलिटी विल बी इंटीग्रल फ्रॉम x1 to x2 of the PDF. बट हम तो x1 से x1 तक कर रहे हैं. तो x1 से x1 के होने की क्या प्रोबेबिलिटी है किसी भी कंटिन्यूअस में?
0.
0, ऑलवेज 0. तो कोई भी पूछे जाए डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन कोई सा भी हो, रैंडम हो, रिले हो, अब तुम लोग ये रिले और रिशियन और ये तुम्हारे कम्युनिकेशन में बहुत काम आते हैं मोबाइल में. तो तुम क्या करते हो, ये मान लो x जो है नॉर्मल डिस्ट्रीब्यूटेड है, एक्स स्क्वायर, ये जो है इसका डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन क्या होगा? इट विल ऑलवेज बी इन द, आई मीन फ्रॉम 0 to infinity. your Gaussian is extending from theoretically from minus infinity to your Gaussian theoretically extends from minus infinity to infinity. Any number can appear in the reading. Whereas if you take this square of every Gaussian random variable, it will have only positive numbers. It cannot have now negative numbers. So your Rayleigh distribution is essentially square of the Gaussian distributed random variable. Okay. In fact, it will be rather, chi-square distribution. Chi-square. It's not Rayleigh, but similarly, you have a Rayleigh and Richian distribution, which have only positive range of the random variables. The x square will be chi-square distribution. It will be chi-square if x is normal. So anyway, the point is that by transforming one random variable into another random variable, you can have many or totally different kind of PDF for that random variable. X square has a totally different PDF than x. So likewise, you have a kind of relation between different random variables. This is one example, that if x is normal distributed random variable, its square will be chi-square distribution. There are hundreds of types of distributions available in the literature, but most important are Gaussian, Rayleigh, Richian, Nakagami, uniform. I am sure you are familiar with uniform distribution, a random variable having a distribution like this from, say, some number A to some number B. It is having a height of 1 upon B minus A, so that area of this rectangle is 1. Because PDF, when integrated from infinity to infinity, this should be equal to 1. So if I know the value of A and B in case of uniform distribution, the height is going to be fixed. You cannot have arbitrary height. Height will always be 1 upon B minus A. Agreed? So in many signal processing applications also, say for example, let me give you the example of your familiar images nowadays. Say it is a 4 by 4 matrix. Your digital images which you are taking from your mobile cameras are essentially matrices. 3, 4, 3, 5, 4, 7, 10, 2, 4, 5, likewise. Now, of course, in practical size of this matrix may be 256 by 256. So you will have a 256 rows and 256 columns. Now you can talk of how many times this 5 is occurring in this entire image, how many times this 2 is occurring, and in the digital images all these numbers will be positive. You cannot have negative intensity or negative brightness. The lowest value of brightness will be 0. So for an 8-bit image representation, these numbers can vary from 0 to 255. Okay. So, but how many times this 2 is occurring? How many times 3 is occurring? How many times 4 is occurring? You can compute it. The probability of having a 4 in the given image, probability of having 5 in the image, and so on. So each signal will have some distribution of or some its own PDF, you can say. But PDF contains, most important information of the given signal. If you know the PDF of the given random variable or given signal, then most of the time averages or statistical averages E of something can be computed very easily. But of course, there is a limitation that only some well-defined PDFs can be integrated and have known closed form expressions of the different averages. We have our own limitation of computing these integrals. Say, for example, you are computing this variance. Now, this variance will be x minus mean whole square into PDF. What will be the value of this? This will be x minus mu whole square into PDF dx. So this integral for, let us say, if it is Rayleigh or Vishian or Nakagami, they are slightly complicated. If it is exponential function, then computation of this integral can be easy. But if you are having some complicated functions, computation of the integrals in closed form can be slightly involved. Okay. Now let me define one or two important terms and then we will start. Of course, you may be familiar, but just I am revising it. One is stationary process, stationary random process, and another is what is called the ergodic process. Ergodic random process. Now this stationary can also be classified as strict sense stationary or wide sense stationary. Strict sense stationary or triple S, strict sense stationary process or wide sense stationary, WSS. Wide sense stationary. Strict sense stationary. So what is the meaning of this? The meaning of this is that given a process, that means collection of waveforms, in fact theoretically infinite number of waveforms. Theoretically infinite number of waveforms. So if you compute the joint PDF of say x1, x2, xn of some random variable say x1, x2, xn, and if it is same as the PDF of x1 plus t, x2 plus t, and lastly xn plus t, or equivalently let me show here itself. Suppose earlier you have sampled this at 10 a.m. and 11 a.m. Suppose only two random variables are there for simplicity. So I am rubbing all other out. So only two random variables are retained. So this will be equal to Let me rub it out again for clarity. So what we are saying is that probability of x1 comma x2 which were obtained by sampling two random variables will be same as probability of x1 comma x2 when x1 is shifted by t as well as x2 is also shifted by t. So this PDF is invariant to the time shifts. So whether I compute the averages at 10 a.m. and 11 a.m. or whether I compute at 2 p.m. and 3 p.m. These PDF will remain same. If that happens, and remember for not only two random variables, for n number of random variables, x1, x2, xn, this should hold good for not only two random variables, but for any n random variables and for every possible value of t. If this happens, तो कुल मिला के बात यह है कि 10 और 11 का एवरेज वही है जो 2 और 3 का है, क्योंकि इनमें टाइम डिफरेंस 1 घंटे का है, या रात के 10 और 11 बजे का एवरेज वही है, या 8 और 9 के बीच में. ऐसे 10 और 12 के बीच में एवरेज वही है जो 2 और 4 बजे के बीच में. यू अंडरस्टैंड? तो केवल हमारा पीडीएफ किस पे डिपेंड कर रहा है? x1 और x2 के बीच में गैप कितना है, नॉट ऑन दिस t. If this happens for all possible values of n and for all possible values of t, then we say that it is a triple S process. But never, I mean, real life processes will never be triple S. I mean, difficult to give examples. Of course, we can give, but in real life, very few processes will be triple S in nature. Most of the time, we are making an assumption of WS. Okay, most of the time. And one very, one practical example or one real reason for not having triple S in real life is that theoretically all these individual waveforms should extend from minus infinity to infinity. Theoretically, individual waveforms of ensemble of the process. तो माइनस इन्फिनिटी टाइम कहाँ से लाओगे रियल लाइफ में, और आगे आने वाला टाइम प्लस इन्फिनिटी वो भी कहाँ से लाओगे? You understand? One theoretical reason for not having triple S processes in real life. केवल यदि ये मान के चलो कि माइनस इन्फिनिटी से प्लस इन्फिनिटी तक का टाइम मैंने वेवफॉर्म ऑब्जर्व कर लिया somehow, then I can define triple S. तुम लोगों को पता होगा sin ओमेगा 0t, ये तो तुम कई बार लिखते हुए आए होंगे अब तक. t is equal to sin ओमेगा 0t, 15 sin ओमेगा 0t. अब मैं पूछता हूँ उसमें t कहाँ से कहाँ तक जाता है theoretically?
माइनस इन्फिनिटी टू
माइनस इन्फिनिटी से प्लस इन्फिनिटी. तो कहाँ से लाओगे माइनस इन्फिनिटी और प्लस इन्फिनिटी टाइम? तो साइनसोइडल सिग्नल भी एग्जिस्ट नहीं करता है रियल लाइफ में, स्ट्रिक्टली स्पीकिंग. एग्रीड और नॉट? क्योंकि यदि तुमने साइन ओमेगा 0t लिख दिया, इसका मतलब t जो है माइनस इन्फिनिटी से प्लस इन्फिनिटी तक कुछ भी हो सकता है. तो कहाँ से लाओगे रियल लाइफ में माइनस इन्फिनिटी टाइम? न तुम थे न मैं था. यू अंडरस्टैंड? अच्छा, एक मैं और अनाउंस कर रहा हूँ, कल की क्लास मैं नहीं लूंगा, कल मैं छुट्टी पे हूँ. ठीक है? हेलो?
ओके सर.
ओके सर.
हाँ, कल की क्लास में नहीं ले रहा हूँ, छुट्टी पे हूँ. यदि अपना सिलेबस से कम कवर होता है तो मैं एक्स्ट्रा क्लास लूंगा बाद में. दिवाली के बाद अपन कोई भी डेट रख लेंगे. ठीक है? हैप्पी दिवाली टू ऑल ऑफ यू.
हैप्पी दिवाली सर.
हैप्पी दिवाली सर.
सेम टू. थैंक यू. ओके.
Happy Diwali to you, sir.
Happy Diwali, sir.
Thank you, sir.